Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Saptarshi Mukherjee. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager in Microsoft Power BI Product Marketing Team. And today I'm going to talk to you about Microsoft Power BI Embedded Pricing and Licensing Update. We just released Power BI Embedded in the Build conference in public preview, and now the service is generally available. We made the service available in our Worldwide Partner Conference in July 2016. Microsoft Power BI Embedded is a brand new Azure service that sits under our data and analytics portfolio of Azure services. When somebody uses Power BI Embedded, there are three distinct steps in using the service. First of all, you need to create Power BI reports in order for that report to show up inside your app. Unlike many of our competitors, Microsoft has made the report creation experience absolutely free and easy for developers. You can go and download a free Microsoft Power BI desktop tool to create stunning and compelling Power BI reports for your apps. The next step, once you have your Power BI reports ready, is to embed those reports inside your application. We have had free Power BI SDKs that you can take advantage of to create those embedding experiences for your application. You can take the reports that you have created using the Power BI desktop tool, and then you can just embed those reports inside your app using the free desktop tool. And then the whole experience, the deployment experience, works using the convenient and familiar Azure resource management APIs and the Azure administration portal that you have. So you essentially can go to the Azure admin portal, you can create your own Power BI embedded workspace collection, you can put the report in the workspace collection using the SDK, and then use the REST API endpoints to embed those reports inside your app. And during these all three phases where you create the report, you create the embed code, and you essentially deploy the report inside the Azure workspace, you do not incur any additional development cost for your application. So when do you incur cost? Power BI Embedded has a very simple and easy to understand pay-as-you-go consumption-based pricing. The model is based on a per report session concept. So when your application end user opens the app and sees a report inside the app, then a new session gets instantiated. Every month, you as an application owner get 100 report sessions for free. And beyond that, every report session is charged at 5 cents per report session. Now, the end user of your application can actually slice and dice the data. They can cross-highlight, cross-filter. All those are not counted as separate report session. A report session is valid for 60 minutes, and then the end user can have unlimited number of interaction with the report. Your report can have unlimited number of visuals and number of pages, and all those are counted towards a single report session. Now, you had some frequently asked questions, and I thought of explaining some of those basic concepts of what is a report session, how does it get counted towards your Azure consumption. So as I said, a report session is a set of interaction between the end user and the Power BI embedded report. Now, each time you instantiate a report inside the app, the meter counts that as a single report session. Now, it's important to highlight that your report can have multiple visuals. So for example, if you have a single report that has 3 different pages, and each page has 4 or 5 different types of visuals, all those are collectively counted as a single report. So your report can ideally have as many visuals as your application needs for your end users. And your report session cost does not change based on the number of visuals or the number of pages that you have inside the report. We also get to answer these questions. What happens if my end user hits the refresh button in the browser? Yes. If your end user is hitting the refresh button on a browser where your app is running and you're showing the Power BI embedded report, it will get counted as a new report session. The other question that I would like to answer, what happens if the end user keeps the report open and does not interact at all? Like, for example, the end user of your application comes to office the first thing in the morning, he or she opens up the app and instantiate a report. And then the user does not interact with the report for 4 or 5 hours. And then after that, they come back and hit the refresh button. So how much consumption does this scenario actually result into? It's important, and I'm happy to share with you that if the report session is not active and there is no interaction between the end user and the report, then we do not keep charging you for additional report sessions. So in that scenario that I mentioned, when a person comes in the morning, opens the report, and then does not do anything for 5 or 6 hours, and then again refreshes the report, it will get counted as 2 different report sessions. One when the person initiated the report, and the second time when the person refreshed the report. In between those 2 activities, there were no activity with the report, and hence there were no additional report sessions that got counted. To share with you a good news, Power BI Embedded is a first-party Azure service, so it will work with all existing Azure subscriptions, and it is very easy for you to manage the bill along with the rest of the Azure services that you might be already using for your app. How do you track Power BI Embedded Azure consumption? There is no chance and possibility for you to have an end-of-month surprise with the Power BI Embedded bill. The reason being, you will be able to track the Azure Power BI Embedded Workspace specific consumption for your subscription by going into the Azure admin portal, and you'll be able to check that anytime you want to see how you are doing against your consumption number. So for example, if under your Azure subscription, you have 3 different Azure Power BI embedded workspaces, and on those workspaces, you hold specific reports, right? For specific customers, it might be for specific geographies, depending on the architecture that you have. Now, what happens is we will be able to give you back the consumption number specific to a workspace. So you know under your subscription which workspace is consuming how many consumption. So it's very transparent, and you can come back and check the consumption number anytime that you want, and you don't need to wait for end of the month surprises. The other question that we hear often, who should use Power BI Embedded? And I think it's very easy and self-explanatory that Power BI Embedded is meant for ISVs who are building software applications, and they want to have great reporting experiences, rich and interactive visuals inside their app. They should use Power BI Embedded. Power BI Embedded can also be used by enterprises who are building applications for third-party usage. Say, for example, if you are a banking organization and you want to offer secured reporting to your end consumers through your own application or net banking application for your external users or your consumers, then you can have Power BI Embedded as a part of your offering. And that's true for retailers offering supply chain analytics to their suppliers or to the distributors. So enterprises who are building third-party applications can use Power BI Embedded, and ISVs who are building applications and distributing it, they can also use Power BI Embedded. Can you use Power BI Embedded for internal applications? Power BI Embedded, as I said, the primary purpose of this service is for external usage and third-party usage. But if you still want to use Power BI Embedded in certain scenario where your internal employees may need to have an access to an app that you have built for third-party, like for example, if you are a retail organization and you have built a solution that is meant for your distributors who are outside of your organization and that uses Power BI Embedded, but the people who manage those distribution channels, they need to have access to those reports. For that scenario, the internal employees may need to have access to an application. And in that scenario, those users, the internal to your organization users, need to have a Power BI Pro user subscription license. In that scenario, those set of users who are covered by the Power BI Pro user subscription license will also be able to access the application that you have built for third-party or external usage. So in this scenario, you will be able to address the need for some of your internal employees to access an app that runs Power BI Embedded in it. I hope this explanation helps with internal usage versus the actual Power BI third-party usage scenario. So if you are an ISV and if you're building applications, how do you monetize this opportunity with Power BI Embedded now that you have this rich and interactive visual element that has been made available as a cloud service for you? How do you monetize this opportunity? Based on our interaction with some of the early adopters, we are seeing really strong innovations from ISVs who are able to monetize the opportunities around Power BI Embedded. For example, we are working with a timesheet automation company called OpenHour. They're a startup based out of New York, and they are building some really amazing solution for time tracking, automated time tracking. And what they have done is now they have got Power BI Embedded reports inside their application to differentiate their app from the rest of the solutions which does timesheet management. And it's an unique positioning of their offering, which has rich reporting capability inside their app. I would like to also highlight another scenario where one of the leaders in the workflow automation space, Nintex, they have a new product from their side called Nintex Hawkeye, where they're able to offer workflow analytics to their existing Nintex customers. And existing Nintex customers can then understand how effective their workflow automation projects have been. And they have built this entire Nintex Hawkeye solution on top of Power BI embedded as a platform. The third example I like to share is from a company called Acton. Acton is a marketing automation company. They are a SaaS provider. And what they have done is their professional services organization has started a new service based on Power BI embedded. So they are now offering rich and interactive custom reporting to their end customer based on Acton data to their end customer and monetizing that opportunity as a professional services opportunity entirely built on top of Power BI embedded. And then there are ISVs, many of them are using combination of these different variants of how to monetize Power BI embedded, of creating net new offerings, offering professional services, or essentially positioning their product ahead of their own competition by offering this rich reporting as a default option. For you, it's really easy to get started. You can go to azure.com and we have a Microsoft Power BI embedded landing page where we have all the product information, pricing updates, FAQ. You can go through all the details and stay up to date with the service. And if you have developers who are really interested to know the details of how to build Power BI artifacts, like how to create custom visualizations, how to use the REST APIs, how to get access to the source code of the visuals that we have made available in GitHub, encourage your developers to go to dev.powerbi.com, where we have all the Power BI developer-related resources. And it's going to make it really easy for you to build applications with Power BI embedded and go to market faster. Thanks for watching the video, and hope we are able to answer some of your questions. Thank you.